Weekly vlog number 25. Starting off, my green screen behind me is down because I just got done recording a Skyrim recording session. And actually on that, holy shit, on the second part of the recording session, god damn it, EVGA Precision X, I'll explain why I'm using that a little bit later. The overlay in it apparently doesn't agree with Skyrim or it doesn't agree with ENB. So as soon as I opened the ENB menu, I got a black screen crash. I was like, son of a bitch. And it's actually a good thing I record my audio on my laptop because that was captured as like shit. None of my audio was screwed up though, so that's good. It's really good, but god damn it, it all got messed up and I had to restart my computer and everything. I had to force shut down with the power button in order to actually get it to shut down because I couldn't alt tab out or control alt delete, bring up task manager or anything. I just couldn't do anything, just complete black screen crash. So instead, I'm gonna actually show some Borderlands 2 footage behind me because I actually started using EVGA Precision X16 and underclocking my graphics cards by 188 megahertz each. Basically, I just brought them back down to the regular reference card speed that Nvidia has on their site because they're factory overclocked cards. So after doing that, I ended up going in playing Borderlands like, wow, this isn't crashing. Wow, okay, that's cool. So instead of crashing from 7 to 13 minutes on average, it's playing 3 hours now, no crashes. What the fuck's going on? So I then tested Borderlands 2, no crashes. And actually, the only reason I did that was because I was in a good mood because I worked on my older brother's computer. He got a new computer for $50 and I told him not to buy it or anything because didn't know how old it was or anything. It's old. It's really, really old. For $50, it's decent though. And he actually took the thing and brought it over and everything, just had me take a look at it. I basically had to rebuild the entire thing. And I've been wanting to build another computer for a while. I don't know why. I kind of want to build a computer. I still wanted to build another computer right now for some reason, but because I wanted to build a computer for a while, I took a look at it. I just pretty much rebuilt the entire thing. I took out a bunch of useless garbage from the thing and I then went into it after I got it built and I did regular system stuff for him, got it all up and running, and I actually got him Left 4 Dead 2 as an early birthday present. It's just so he had Steam up and running because it's fast enough that it can run Steam, and some games like Left 4 Dead 2, it runs that perfectly fine. So I got that all set up for him and that just made me want to play Left 4 Dead 2 on my gaming computer, so I set that up, and after, according to Steam, 25 minutes of playing that, I got a graphics driver crash. So I was still in a little bit of a good mood and decided, you know what, let's try something stupid, even though it makes no sense. There's no logic to it. There's no reason why underclocking the graphics cards should do anything to stop graphics driver crashes when there's 14 games that do not crash. Actually, technically 15, but throughout the stuff, there's 14 that I tested that never had any graphics driver crashes. Then 4 of them did, but one of those got fixed, so that's why it's technically 15 that doesn't have graphics driver crashes or anything. So after underclocking, just setting it so 1215 megahertz, just 1215, whatever, 1215 megahertz core clock. So the boost, when it's actually at boost to 1215, I actually threw Unigine Heaven benchmark on in a window and looked at to make sure I actually got the amount proper. So it's only going up to 1215 megahertz for the core clock instead of 1404 or 1405 or something megahertz. And that actually made it so stuff isn't crashing the graphics driver anymore, which is a little weird actually. It doesn't make any damn sense why some would have an issue when others don't. And for whatever reason, the illogical circumstances actually ended up working. So now I can actually play Borderlands 2. So that means that since there's Borderlands 2 footage now behind me, I'm playing Borderlands 2 for my next playthrough. I gotta finish Skyrim first. Obviously, Skyrim isn't done because I just did a recording session of Skyrim today, hence why the green screen is still down behind me. But because I can actually record Borderlands 2, and I actually wanted to redo this playthrough as the first one I started doing when I got back into playthroughs and everything, it's going to be awesome because it means I can now use PhysX and record 60 frames per second footage, and it's going to just be insane because when I run around and go crazy and everything, all those particles flying around the screen, all the elemental effects, just everything going psycho, is just something that's amazing to see. And you lose track of enemies, but somehow you still know they're there and you know where to aim and everything. You just aim and you just kick ass and just run around like crazy, and just everything it's so much better than it was with my old computer, because my old computer, if I ever used PhysX, I could force it through CPU. Obviously, I didn't have Nvidia cards. I had ATI. There's still ATR then, because old enough that AMD didn't yet buy out ATI back when I bought my cards. So basically it's AMD, but whatever, you get the idea. So my old computer, I was actually never really using PhysX, because when I used it, my frame rate would go down into the single digits, and most of the time it would be between, I don't know, maybe 5 at the worst areas. It would go down to 5 frames a second, basically just unplayable, completely unplayable, and it would go maybe as high as 25 frames a second, maybe 30. I don't know about 30, probably only about 25, just with any normal PhysX stuff going on. But with my new computer, holy shit, Borderlands 2 actually runs better than my last computer did while it wasn't using PhysX. So it's running up around 90 frames a second, between 70 and 90 frames a second with PhysX enabled, and it'll mostly stay up around 50 or 60 when there's a lot of shit going on. And it takes a lot of stuff to actually drive it down to around 30, and it doesn't really ever go below 30. So that's pretty amazing. And even when there's a ton of crazy stuff going on, just absolute chaos, then it'll usually stay around 45 or so. It's just amazing. That's pretty much everything, actually. That's weird. I could have sworn there was a lot more. I got stuff written down, but apparently I just summed up everything that actually happened this week very, very quickly, and I didn't even write down the fact that I got a black screen crash. I mentioned Borderlands 2, I already mentioned drivers stuff. I already got my brother's computer mentioned and everything. It's just everything's already covered. So I guess that's pretty much the end of this video already. This one's actually kind of short, which is all right. I guess that probably just means that I actually did well on speaking this time. The first 2 parts of this recording session for today, well, today's recording session of Skyrim, I mean, they kind of sucked, so they're not going to have ads. I'll try and remember not to put ads on those or anything, but they just really sucked. The first one, I started noticing, wow, the frame rate doesn't seem right. It's really fucking laggy. It's stuttery as a son of a bitch, because the overlay for Precision X was on, though it didn't actually show the overlay in the game, so I didn't really care to disable it. But I noticed it was like really, really laggy, and I was like, what the hell's going on? So then on the next part, about 3 minutes in or something, I was like, son of a bitch, because I was trying to see if disabling ENB would make it smooth running. But then after I restart my computer and everything, I disabled the overlay, started the game back up, and everything worked perfectly. I was like, yes, it's working. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on the next video next week, or on one of my Skyrim videos. But until then, I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Bye.